Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In our previous video, I was able to sign up on Search Accounting software, and I was able to set up the profile for the hotel, Tudor Hotels Limited, as you can see on the screen. So right now, the next thing we do after setting up the profile is to work on the chart of accounts. Chart of accounts is a very important topic in accounting. And I believe as an accountant, you know more than me what chart of accounts is. So you have to understand that hotels doesn't operate like other businesses. Hotels have some incomes, some specific incomes that comes in, which must be identified on your account statement. So if you want to generate maybe a profit or loss report, and they just see income and expenses without details of which income we are referring to and which expenses we're referring to, the person looking at your report, like the manager or your boss, might not be able to understand what report you are generating as an accountant. So you have to specify your chart of accounts, create accounts for different purposes so that it will reflect as you are working on your reports. So first thing I will do is to look at those important accounts we're supposed to have in our hotel. So I will go to accounts and I say add an account. By clicking add an account, we'll be able to have a menu where we can set up the different accounts we're supposed to. So here is the category of the accounts, and here is the account. So first I will start with the income. The first set of income we're going to have will be income from room service. Income from room service. So the category will remain sales. It's still sales, of course, sales. Then under here we have default VAT. Are we going to be charging for VAT or not? I can apply VAT. The standard rate in Nigeria is 7.5. Your country, you will see your own standard rate if you choose a different country. Okay. But for now, I will say no VAT. I will just decide not to charge for VAT. But it is applicable if you're doing an actual account, you might need to apply it. Description here, we can write what this room service actually means. You can say these accounts have to do with money received from customers for room service. You can just describe it that way. Then opening balance, we leave it as zero because let's say we are starting the account afresh. But if there's an existing account, maybe it was maintained manually, you have to transfer the opening balance from what you see on your paper down here. Okay, so I will leave it that way. Coming down here, I click on save and new, which will enable me to create the next account. So the next one we want to create now will be, I'll call this food and beverage. Food and beverage. This is another important sector in a hotel. Most hotels sell food and they equally sell beverages. So this account is still under sales account, and I will just leave it like that, and I will say no fats. Then I click on save and new. The next account I need to create is the account that I have to do with spa. No, most hotels have spa. Most hotels have spa. I will still go into sales, although these are actually services. But on search, we record them as sales. Okay, so I'll come down here and say no fats, and I click on save and new. Then the next thing that hotels do offer nowadays is that do offer car wash. Car wash sales. I come down here and I click on save and new. Any other thing? There are a lot of stuff hotels do offer these days. I think hotel do offer let's say rentals. I'll just call it rentals. Rentals is that many hotels do have event centers that people can come and rent to use for their birthday celebration, their wedding reception, a lot of stuff like that. So I just call that rentals. Okay, this is still part of sales, and then open balance still remains zero except you have something to put. So I will stop here for now. There might be other income that comes in. So maybe I will just create one more account and call it other income. No need of doing. Okay, there is need. Let me say other hotel income. There are a lot of stuff that could happen in hotel. Some hotel have laundry. Yeah, let me put that. Let me put laundry. Most hotels have laundry. They do laundry as of course. So here I will click on sales, then no fats. Coming down here, I click on self. Since I don't have another one, I'll click on self. Then that will show us the list of the accounts I have created right now. You see the list of accounts we have created. So this will form part of the general chart of accounts. We have other accounts like purchases. We have purchases accounts here. We have this discount receive. We have bad debt, interest received. We have a lot of other accounts lists over here in a chart of accounts, as you can see here. So there are a lot of accounts here, the expense and so on. So we can also create account that will record expenses. So most hotels, you can choose to go on a general expense account, or you can go on let's say Impress. Most hotels, they have what they call Impress. The amount of money is given to an accountant, and the accountant actually use the money in terms of day-to-day business, like buying of fuel, buying of diesels and other stuff. Those are actually costs of goods sold. In a buying and selling firm, that is actually cost of goods sold. But in a service-based business like hotel businesses, you give Impress, and the Impress can as well be recorded. The amount of money you spend from the Impress can be recorded as an expenses, and the expense account can as well be either cost of goods sold or the cost of as in it's actually the cost of services you render. So let's see how we can bring up something like that. Let's call this account okay. Let's have this let's call this, the first thing was room service. So if we want to buy things that have to do with room service expenses, or maybe we want to spend on food and beverages, like someone going to the market to buy food stuff that will be used to cook, or you want to look at drinks. I forgot there's an account for bar. Okay, so if at all we want to spend on drink, we want to spend on beverages or any other stuff, we can actually make use of the specific accounts for that. I remember I have to put bar sales. This is a sales account, but it has to do with specifically bar, or maybe I just remove the sales since it all fall into an income account called sales. Okay, so of course I will still choose no fats here. Then I click self. So the expense account, the account that will be recording our expenses, I can pick one or I can record it generally, but I would like to pick one. I would like to pick things that relate to what we have here. Okay, so I click on add an account, and I click on this button. It's gonna open for us to do that. So let me call this account supplies. I call this supplies, and then I can call this cost of sales. Now these supplies have to do with the items we actually receive from vendors coming in for different purposes. For example, we receive drinks, we receive items that have to do with the toiletries for the hotels. We receive stuff like and the drinks I've mentioned earlier, the food items we receive to use and process the food we are actually selling. So all those stuff can fall into these supplies. Okay, or let me say, let me change the name from supplies and call it hotel expenses. Hotel expenses. Okay, so that is it, and I go ahead and click on this cannot be cost of goods sold. Yes, could be cost of goods sold, or I call it expenses. But if you go to expenses, it will be so many, as in it covers a lot of stuff. Because of goods sold is better, so that it can be minus from the income account for us to have our net profit on the profit or loss account. Okay, so it's better we leave it this way. So whatever we spend, we can subtract it from whatever we made as income, and we'll be able to see if the hotel is actually gaining or losing. So I come down here and click on save. That has been done. So remember, we've been able to set up the different accounts we need in order to function well in a hotel. The accounts can be more than that. We have a lot of accounts. In the section that have to do with income, that is the revenue account. We have all this stuff here. We have the bar, the car wash, food and beverage, laundry, rentals, room service, spa. Now these accounts are very much important. And if at any point you want to change the name of this account, or you want to alter it, for example, this spa, I want to call it spa services. You can as well come to action. You click on edit. By clicking edit on action, supposed to take us to where we can actually change anything we want to change. So I can come here and I call this spa services. Okay. Then coming down here, I click on save, and believe me, that changes has been done. If you want to change the opening balance or any other items you want to change on the account, it can be done right there. And if at any point you feel like the account is no more important to you, you can come up here, click on the action, and you'll see delete, which will help you delete the account immediately. So remember, there are also other accounts that have been placed automatically by the system, like the account called other sales is always there. We have discounts received, we have bad debt, we have other accounts. Yeah, about 3 pages of the accounts we have here. These ones after equity, we have return income, we have system rounding. There are a lot of stuff here. Under current liabilities, we have VAT, we have bank loan, and other accounts here. So you only create the account that doesn't exist, and you create account that you know that you will be using. You don't just create account that will be dormant. You create account that will be using daily to maintain your record. So in the next video, we will go straight to how we can start recording the transactions that takes place in a hotel, to know how we can record the transactions and understand if this software is best applicable, can be applied bestly, it can be applied in a hotel or not. So please, if you have any question, you're free to ask your questions about the topic we just finished now, which have to do with the chart of accounts. In the first video, we work on setting up the accounts and working on account profile. Second video, we were able to work with our chart of account, see how we can create new account, how we can edit, and then how we can delete an existing account that is not valuable. So thank you very much, and see you in the next video. I am Tutor Frank.